Hey, good morning everyone. Prepper Madness back here. All right, today here I'm going to do a short video, more prepper blacksmith related than anything else. Before I get into that, I I posted on the Alberta Preppers Facebook page, their Facebook page, and I asked if anyone wanted to come out for a weekend and learn how to make their own forge and charcoal and stuff like that. Huge response. Thank you very much. It's just a free workshop. It's just something I just felt I should do it because there's a lot of people that like to, they like, oh, I'd love to learn this, I'd love to learn that, but I don't have my own forge, I don't have an anvil, I don't have this, I don't have that. So it's just going to be a workshop on building your own forge, like prepper kind of thing, and we're just going to make a brake drum forge. And while we're doing that, including the stand, and while we're doing that, we're going to blacksmith the stand together, so that everyone learns how to drive sockets, how to bend your steel, how to draw a point, all that kind of stuff, and how to make your own jigs. What I found on the when I got response back, everyone's like, it kind of makes me laugh because I was there once too. Everyone's like, yeah, let's build a knife, let's build a tomahawk. Are you going to show us this? Are you going to show us that? And my answers were like, well, you got to learn how to walk before you can run, right? So you need tools in order to get there, right? You need a set of tongs, you need a hammer, you need a hard surface for an anvil, you need to make a punch, you need to make a drift. Two different things right there. Some people don't know the difference. A drift is just after you punch the hole through. A drift is what expands your steel to the point that you can make a socket to fit a handle in. Anyhow, different video. Okay, so that being said, learn to walk before you can run. Okay. I got to make many mistakes, so I'm just sharing that with you. Okay, so learn to walk before you can run. Go through those steps, think it out. What do I need to do this, right? Okay, and then make the tools, and you're learning metallurgy along the way, tool steels, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. All right, make do with what you got. Anyhow, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go from this, okay, a little railroad spike, to this. Okay, I'll put that up here like that so you can see it from the side. Okay, there's no added steel, no nothing, and I'm using high carbon railway spikes, but in a pinch, survivalist prepper kind of stuff. In a pinch, pretty much any bar of steel that's between 1 inch square and 3/4 inch square will do the trick for this. All right. You can make your own conclusions from this. Yes, you can make yourself a hammer out of these. Yes, you can make a small adze. You can make a small chisel. Is it the greatest of quality in the world? No, it is not, but it will do. Okay. There's, like it'll do the trick for you. Okay, so I'll shut up and we'll go through our little journey. Okay, so what you see here is that I went and sheared off the lips right here. You can use a grinder or a hacksaw, whatever floats your boat or whatever you've got, right? I've sheared these lips off to avoid having to play with all the inclusions which happen when you go to form your tomahawk head. Okay, you know, all the foldovers, and then you get air gaps, and it'll break. So I just shear the sides off just to avoid all that. Yes, it removes some mass, big deal. When it comes out like this at 2.5 inches, almost 3 inches on the face, big deal, doesn't matter. Okay, tools you're gonna need. You're gonna need a center punch, okay, to mark your center, of where you're gonna drift on your spike. Okay, you do that cold. You're gonna need, now this is improvised tooling. I do have a really high quality hot slit, but I'm just showing, okay? You're gonna need a punch, okay? So I'm just using an old cold chisel that I ground down fairly narrow on the profile like this, so that I don't spread my steel too far apart and then cause it to go inwards like that, okay? So it's not blunt, all right? And you'll need some sort of drift. This drift here is just a bolt drift that just so happens, that right up here at this point here, it's absolutely perfect for an 1.25 inch handle. And right down here at this point here, it's absolutely perfect for a 1 inch handle, which is what we're going to do. Okay, just to keep it simple. And of course, you'll need your whacking stick. Okay guys, I'm going to fire my forge up and we're going to get right at it. drew the blade out quite a bit wider. I'm going to do a little bit more on the face of it here. I've still got around a 1/4 inch of steel left on there. I'm not going to draw it right down to a razor edge. Not yet. All fairly straight. Still got my nice little mark in the middle. There we go. So what I did there is I drew the shank, because there's my my center punch hole. I don't know if you can see it. So I drew my shank out just a little bit longer. I kind of like that. I kind of like doing it that way, so when after you've driven the socket and got a handle in, you can grab it right here comfortably without touching the blade over here, and you can use it for skinning, you know, for skinning and stuff like that. All right, back in the forge. Off we go. Let's brush. Now the only reason I'm brushing it off here is like in a survival kind of situation, like we were talking. You probably won't have a steel brush to do this, but I do like to keep my stuff clean while I'm doing this. There, much nicer, much more uniform on the edge, which of course makes it much easier later on when you go to file it or grind it or whatever you can do. All right, nice and easy. Got her up to a good heat here. Layer there. My improvised hot slit here. Okay, like that. Make sure it's even on both sides, and then make your marking yet. Okay? Now watch it, because it'll bounce. Okay? So now I've made my mark. Yeah, it's fairly straight. Put it back in. I'll fill you in on what's going on. Okay, so you see the sockets driven? It's this one's pretty good. Whatever. Okay. Anyhow, what I was going to say was that you'll see how uniform these two sides are with each other. Okay. Now, one of the really important things to do here is to have your heat uniform all the way around your steel. Because if it's colder on one side or cooler on one side than the other, what'll happen is you'll end up with this over here. Okay, it'll have more give on one side than the other, and you'll end up with a distorted socket. Okay, really easy to do. That's why I just take my time on it, especially doing a video, just so you guys can see. Okay, so I just take my time on it. I don't work it at cooler heats. I keep it really hot all the time, and maybe I'll only be able to hit that hot slit 2 or 3 times in the whole process, but I'm watching what's going on all the time. Okay. All right, let's see if I screw this one up. Now, I do like to keep these fairly clean for a few reasons. One of them is for my own safety, because I don't like taking hot slag in the face. All right? See, I do have to remark this. Darn it. See, I screwed up. Just goes to show you, no one's perfect. No, it's not doing it. Damn it. There we go. I'll mark that. Okay, that's better. I'll hold that mark. Good. That one's nice and pronounced. All right. Now, see if I can show you guys. Okay, you can see how I super pronounced that last mark over the other two. It just I had a chisel bounce there. I had the chisel bounce on me when I hit it, and it went this way, you know, and then it went that way. And anyhow, it's fixed. I'll shut up. It's not perfect. I'll be able to fix that a bit later. Chisel. Yeah, you see it moved a little bit on me. I don't know if you can see that because of the heat of it. Moved just a little bit on me there. I'll see if I can correct that here. I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. But you can see how working with this thinner stock like 3/4 or 5/8 can be a true blue pain. That's why I like using a 7/8 stock. It gives me a little room to be able to play around with. You don't have to be so dead perfect all the time. It gives you a little more meat on the sides too. When I go to put ears on it, you know, the rounded, like you see on ball peen hammers.
And whether this works out or not, it doesn't matter. You'll get the drift, so to speak, as we go on, and you'll see the mistakes I made, and I'm pointing them out too as I go. All right. So I'm going to try and correct that just a little bit if I can. Right there. Let's see what happens. Gotta be careful because I'm touching towards myself. I think I got her corrected, guys. Awesome. Now you don't want to punch all the way through, okay? What you want to do is you want to get it so there's that mark right here. I want to take my punch out here. There we go. I don't want to overheat it too much or it'll get super brittle. There. Even though it turned the shank a little bit, that is fixable. Oh, I don't want to go too close to the camera, I'll melt it. Okay, so it's now fixable for me, okay? Now these usually only take me, like with coal or charcoal or even this propane, which is a little slower. This usually only takes me about 15 minutes to do, okay? But I'm not making excuses just because I'm talking to the camera and I'm concentrating on showing you guys what's happening, okay? So I can't see my bead down there yet. Oh, something I did forget to do was put a you don't hear it when it hits bottom. I didn't put a protector to protect the face of my anvil. Yes, I'm fully aware of it. See that black part on it. Makes a nice little black line, and then you just punch back through. Lost the heat. Okay. We'll go back. Into the fire. Bang, 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 bang. That's it coming through. So, let's remove. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. There we go. There. There's that little black mark. Normally I just go and punch that bead out, the pellet or whatever you want to call it. But there's the little black mark on the, whoa, burn the camera. There's that little black mark on the back I'm talking about, okay? Don't punch it all the way through. Just a little lesson I learned, because what you end up happening, I wish I had an example here to show you, because I stopped doing it quite a while ago. What ends up happening is you blossom the end that you're coming out like this, okay? And not only does it look like crap, but it's all rough and jaggedy and everything, and then it kind of distorts how you put your handle in, right? Because remember, we're talking survival kind of stuff. You don't have all your files, you don't have a nice shot to work in, okay? It's going to be just bang, drive that hole, stick a handle in it, and off you go, right? Besides, I love making tomahawks. It's I've got an addiction. There we go. We're through. Okay, and that's as far through as I've got to go. All right. All right. So you can see it distorted out on one side a little bit. That is fixable. I'll play around with it here, and I'll come back and drift my hole. You guys might want to see how I do it. So I'm just going to put it over my hardy hole. Put this right at the very center of that slit, and tap it in gently until it pokes through. And work corner to corner of my hardy hole, so I don't distort it any worse than what it already is. I'm really not all that happy with it. Okay, so I see it's moving out on one side. Thin it out right here again. Yeah, see, I've got more mass on one side than the other. So I'm going to stretch that out a little. Lost the heat. Okay. So you'll see what the problem is, even though I've half corrected it now. I've got more mass on this side, okay, than I do on this side, all right? Just slightly more, and that's what will get you, okay? It's also, what also has happened, I got it in the forge right now, is the blade went like this a little. So I'm going to straighten that out and straighten this. I'm actually kind of glad this happened, because when you show a video where everything is perfect and happens great all the time, then no one gets to see or learn how to fix those things. Okay? Let's just do a little bit of straightening here first. I'm just going to tap on the back end of this. And that should lift it. Yeah, it did. It lifted it. Okay. Straighten that spike out a bit. Oh, losing it. Sorry if I'm getting in the way of the camera, guys. Okay. So, see, I've straightened the back end of the spike out, roughly to the center of center to center on the hole. Okay. When I bring it back, I'm going to take some mass. I'm going to take some mass out of this side here and straighten this way a little bit. You'll see what I'm doing. You'll see what I'm doing. And first I'll thin this though. Now that I look at it more. All right. I'm going to. I'll thin this side out just a little bit more. And then it'll be a whole bunch easier for me to play with. All right. Let's bend this back on itself just a little bit. Like that. Mass on that side. Out. Not making me happy. Yes, I know the sand is bending over a little bit on me. There we go, that's much better. Okay. That is good. Looking better. think I've got her licked. I'll do I'll drift my hole and then I'll do any straightening out after that. That drove nice. Straighten a little bit on the head. Straighten a little bit on the head. Not too badly. There. A lot better. I can still fix it a little more here by taking some more mass out of here. So you can see the little ears that pop up right here and stuff. They can get pretty sharp and they can be a real pain for when you're fitting your handle. Okay, so now I'm going to go in from the opposite side. Oh, and I see exactly where my problem is now. Alright, grip this puppy there. Okay. Okay. Actually, that didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to. I can fix it up here in just a bit. So there's your hole punch through. Okay. We'll just do some straightening out here while I still got a little bit of heat.